Welcome to another episode of the Two for One podcast. I'm your host, Dion, and alongside me, as always, my co hosts, Nate and Mitch, are here. But it is not just the three of us. We have a little bit of an announcement to make, and I'll do so in the manner in which he requested to. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our newest intern to the team. Longtime friend of the show, Josiah Cook, is here with us moving forward. Josie, it's so great to have you here. Hope your Tuesday is going well. How does it feel to be officially part of the team?
It's going great, man. It feels amazing. I should say my official capacity here is an intern. So I'm going to be running around getting coffee for Mitchell.
Ah,
And
yes, the very close vicinity that we all live within each other.
yeah, so I got to drive up to Ontario and get it done. But no, man, I'm excited. I've been wanting to get back into podcasting and now have a reason to be on the team and be on the pod. So I'm excited, man.
Yes, sir.
I
We're
like
very
it.
excited to
I
have
like
you here.
the
All right,
rook.
you
The
got some.
rookie's showing some spark. I like it.
Yes, sir. I know you got some great ideas for us already, so really looking forward to it.
Oh, we
Really is
got
a
some
new
things
era
coming,
for
maybe.
Two for one hoops. Mitch and Nate, hope you're doing good as
No, you
well.
don't give a fuck
Tuesday's
about
treating
me.
you
You don't
well.
have to pretend. I don't really need your
Dude,
your
hey,
pity
hey,
points.
listen, it's the shiny and new, all right? We can't blame him for liking the new toy, all
This is
right?
exactly what happened when my parents had children. I'm just kidding.
Look, if you guys want longer intros, I'll introduce you guys thoroughly
Whoa,
in every
whoa,
episode if
whoa,
you'd like.
whoa. I'd like to have a very concise and efficient intro. And why don't you segue us into the first topic there, sport?
Sure. Well, I wanted to mention we're definitely not going to spend too long on it, but I wanted to at least mention I did attend my first NBA game of the season
I hate
on
you.
Sunday. Probably the least significant game on the entire NBA calendar, if I had to predict right now here on November 4th. It was Jazz at Hornets in a game in which no LaMelo Ball, no Brandon Miller, no Walker Kessler, Ace Bailey basically didn't play in the first half. It was one of the NBA games of all time, I would say. So it was at least fun to go. I got really good seats. Shout out to my guy Elijah over at DSI for hooking me up with that. But yeah, that's
Friend
about
of
all I have
club.
to say on that matter. Just wanted to at least mention. I love going to an NBA game. I know Josie, you're a Cavs season ticket holder, as he's I don't know what's going on over
Is
there,
he
but
actually?
yeah, yeah, he goes.
I'm a ticket holder. I'm not
You're a
I'm
Not
fucking
yeah, not a
spazzing
full
out
41,
robot
but
shit right now is what you
no,
are.
yeah. For the audio listeners, my video is what I would describe as fully fried right now, but we're gonna keep moving.
intern stuff. Just some intern
Listen,
stuff.
I spilled that macchiato he got
Intern!
me all over his
He
computer.
spilled the
That's my
cream.
bad. That's my bad. But did you enjoy all 30 minutes of Svi Mihailuk on that in that game? Because
Not all 30 of
oh
them, but
boy.
he had a couple moments. I guess it was good to see
He had he had
Celtics legend
29
Stevie
total
Kyler.
minutes actually, which is insane to me that Utah's already in tank mode and we're not
Yeah,
even
no,
like
Utah
full
was running
two.
heavy Kevin Love. There's a lot of Kevin Love in that game. A lot of Yusuf Nurkic. It was ugly for sure. Yeah, Hornets somehow had the better front court, probably maybe for the only time this season. But what I really wanted to talk about today, now that we're 2 weeks into the season, I think there's been enough time to take a look at these teams' rotations and just pick out some things that we do and don't like in the early going. So it looks like Josie is maybe in and out here. So I'm going to go to you, Mitch, first. You can go positive or negative. But what's one thing that's really stood
What
out
did
to you?
I did
Whether
I
it's
did I start off as a negative Nancy in our last positive and
I believe you
negative?
did because you said you wanted to end on a high note.
Okay. Well, instead, I'll flip it up and say that I'll start with my positives.
Alrighty.
And the positive, I guess, spin on the old minute situation. I'll go with like the increase that I'm happy about, and is that Colin Murray Boyles has made his way into the starting lineup
Let's
in a couple
go.
of these matchups. Now, I don't know whether it's that Yak's lower back is just completely fucked, or that we look at Mamu and say, listen, you might be, 5 inches taller than CMB, but, he's got that dog and we don't know about you yet, so we're not putting you at the five. For whatever reason, Darko tuned into our last pod and was like, wait a minute, these boys might be able to make a lineup. They might be cooking. So yes, we ran a lineup which was CMB at the five. And let me just tell you, Jaron Jackson Jr. is not the best metering or measuring stick for what I would consider
Metering stick.
a Canadian Freudian slip, my bad. Uh, but JJJ is not exactly like I'd be like, oh, here's the litmus test to see if you can run a small ball five.
Right.
He still managed, and I'll say this sparingly, put up 15 points, grabbed 9 boards over Jaron Jackson Jr., 5 assists, 3 steals. Uh, the thing that stood out most to me was a lot of it was back to the basket game instead of just trying to like dice his way through. Because, like, again, for those of you who don't know, Colin Murray-Boyles is a bit of a weird build, I would say, and I mean that in the
Yeah.
nicest ways possible,
You could call him a
because
tweener.
he is a very weird tweener. Despite having like a very like grown man NBA ready body, he's still about 4 inches shorter than your average center. And small ball centers, he's still probably 2 inches away from that. He's only at 6'7", and even that,
So what I'm getting is he's 2 inches away from being 2 inches away.
yeah. Except the thing is, he plays well above his height, much like a man who is not playing and is also left-handed, Zion Williamson. Shout out the already automatic tweet that Shams probably had loaded up, ready to say that he was out for 2 weeks. But CMB played well above his weight class, I would say, and he put up a pretty decent showing. My only gripe is that obviously it's not sustainable long term, but the uptick in production from CMB when he's part of the starting core is pretty damn noticeable. Again, against Wemby, this is a pretty bad like he did have a very sporadic shot chart against Wemby. Notice he only took 2 shots from within 3 feet. I wonder why.
Hmm.
However, still put up a very solid 19. I think he only had like 4 boards here, but it was like 19, 1, 1, 1, 3, like a bunch of random production across the board. He has proven that he can play above his height and weight, and he's kind of at this point where I'm ready to be like, okay, if we want to give Colin Murray-Boyles like an exceptional 29 minutes a game, I'm all for it. Whatever takes Yak away from being on the floor the longest. I'm okay with whatever staggering Mamu minutes and CMB minutes we want. Get Yak Attack out of there. His back is clearly fucked. The dude looks like a newborn deer that's wearing cement cinder block shoes. It's
Oh, I've
crazy.
seen those before. Like
Yeah.
I was actually walking outside the other day, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's a deer wearing cement shoes." I was like, "That's
Thanks,
the
Nate. You always
Yakapurtle."
your
Thank you
comedic
so much.
timing is always impeccable for
Ah,
my bits. I love
thank
it.
you.
The thing with Jakob Poeltl, I hope it is just an injury because yeah, he
No,
got
he's
paid
washed,
and
bro.
immediately
He's
just
washed.
looks. It's
Oh my
it looks
God.
really bad. But the thing
Do
that's
not
really
condone
interesting,
wishing injury upon people
It's
here
not it's not
on the
wishing an injury. It's
podcast.
an injury that I hope he's had all along. I'm not hoping it happens. I'm hoping he just goes, "Oh wait. Oh, there was a disc fucked up back there this whole time. My bad,
How do
guys."
they diagnose that? They like they. Oh, I mean, I think Mitch was here the last time I talked about. No, he wasn't. I think the last time I was praising CMB, Mitch was not here, and I was talking about how much I liked him in terms of his size and already being able to guard a lot of the more NBA ready or being a more NBA ready player, being able to guard some of the veterans and hold his own. His 3-point shot has looked good. He's one of those connecting pieces that you need, and while the Raptors have a lot of the top guys, not as necessarily talent wise, but Brandon Ingram you think of as a go-to scorer. RJ Barrett's kind of a go-to scorer. Emmanuel Quickly's always been a high-level scoring and passing guard. That's kind of been or that's what he's supposed to be. His shot's obviously not falling at the rate you want it to right now, but I like CMB a lot. I think Jakob really does slow a lot of what the Raptors do well down, and right now they're not going to be a good defensive team, I think, regardless. So I think you might as well just fully commit to the offensive bit, and getting rid of Jakob doesn't hurt you defensively at this point, anyways.
yeah,
Wise
honestly,
man.
it really doesn't. And yeah, CMB is a shooter. I mean, I know he's only taking like 2.5 a game, but the fact that he
If
actually
he can
shoots,
literally shoot 2.5, 3 a game, and even just be league average, that's all he has to do.
yeah, no, that's been a pleasant surprise for sure. Although I will say, I did just see Jakob Poeltl just bang one. So
Here's
can't be
the
that
thing.
bad.
Whatever you're watching right now, take it as a huge asterisk because there's one man who's not in this game from
That is.
Milwaukee. There's one very important player, all
I
right?
like how Giannis played the Knicks and then proceeded to just miss a week and a half.
It's those dirty, dirty players out in New York trying to take him out.
No, no, it's you have to play against the Knicks. That Knicks and
That
Lakers.
damn
That's
Miles
all that matters.
McBride.
No, I
Oh my God,
lie.
he's
I
still
lie as he
here.
checks. He just checked in. Damn. I hold my tongue because Giannis is here to spank Toronto.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said he's not playing.
No, he
Oh, he
wasn't in the
wasn't.
game.
He wasn't in the game, and now he just
Oh,
stepped in the
oh,
game.
oh. Okay. Well,
The
he
only
missed a
reason,
few.
the only reason Yak was even there was because Giannis was
Yak
absent.
attack. All right. Should I? Is it my term to be a term?
Sure, yeah, go
It's
for it.
not. I don't have a presidential term, unfortunately. Um. So am I staying negative, or you want me to go positive, or should we just get rid of
Whatever you feel more
whatever
strongly
floats my boat?
about,
All right. We'll just
I would
stick with
say.
the negative. We'll finish on a nice positive note. So for my negative one, I don't know if you guys have watched any Kings games. None of them have been very pretty.
No.
They're starting Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder together, and it's been an absolute disaster. Malik Monk has been pretty solid for the most part that I've seen him. He hasn't been quite as aggressive as maybe some of the fans are used to him being or want him to be. But this whole Schroeder playing like ass, even if Schroeder was playing well, running him and Russell Westbrook together in the starting lineup isn't going to work. Dion, I briefly spoke to you about this before. They're basically playing Russell Westbrook at power forward defensively,
Right.
and it's just there's no shooting, there's no athleticism other than whatever's left of Westbrook and DeRozan. There's no shooting, there's no defense, there's not a lot of great passing.
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, there is no fucking mindset in this football club.
Dennis Schroeder's not really a guy you can rely on to run a whole offense and walk his teammates through sets and whatnot and hold his teammates' hands when things aren't going well. He's not one of those backbone guys that you can just be like, okay, calm everything down. He's a spark plug that'll come in and get you a few buckets, and now he's being asked to run a whole offense. Domantas Sabonis is having the worst season he's had probably since he became like an all-star level player. He looks awful. He's not scoring the ball well. His passing was, I don't want to say his passing was a fluke, but looking at a lot of what's Cat is already doing in New York and the way that he's being used as a passer, I I'm
Calling
going to
Sabonis a
say
Mike Brown merchant?
I think a lot of what we saw with Sabonis and the insane amount of handoffs that Mike Brown had him run with him, and
Great
even when
point.
De'Aaron Fox was still there, I'm not going to go and just say, oh, Sabonis is a bad passer and he's not really a good passer. But I think the level that people thought he was on, he isn't nearly close. Like the fact that some people were talking about him, or at least Sacramento fans were talking about him in the lights of Jokic with his passing ability. It's a stupid thing. He's not, a hub of offense. There's just no structure or any way I think you can put together that five and make it work and have a positive outcome. Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis. I don't understand what the fuck that is.
Yeah, I don't. I think we lost Josie again. So I was gonna
No,
ask.
I've been here the whole time,
Oh, you're
fellas.
still there. Okay, Josie, can you chime in and just let me know how and why it's possible that Devin Carter is playing less than 7 minutes a game?
That hairline.
For arguably, I don't know what the numbers say, but arguably the worst defense in the NBA. Like I haven't watched a ton of the Kings. It's one of those teams that like I'll just flip through like on League Pass when I'm just watching multiple games. I can't remember one good defensive possession I've seen. So why is
Well,
Devin Carter just not playing?
well, to Nate's point, I think there's a coaching issue in Sacramento. There's also a GM issue. We just went through the list of names that are on this team. I think part of the reason that you don't get guys like Devin Carter in the mix is the fact that they have all these guys that they feel obligated to play right now. I mean, you need to get production out of Dennis Schroeder. You need to get production out of Russell Westbrook. So, um, you know, the coaching has been abysmal, and Sabonis has looked the worst he's looked. I totally agree with that. The DHOs have gone away completely.
Like,
I,
am I crazy in thinking Sabonis is just a completely not like a negative asset at this point, but he's just a body that puts up numbers out there. He's no more contributing to winning, than Vucevic was back with the Bulls when they had DeRozan and Levine.
Exactly. No, it's the same thing essentially at this point. And I would say even, he's not even really ever progressed into much of a perimeter scorer at all, which at least Vooch was providing at the time for,
Yeah, Sabonis is trying to shoot threes right now a little bit more than he used to doing. No one's going out there and selling out defensively that's going to go and collapse on Domantas Sabonis shooting a 3-pointer. You want him to shoot that every single day of the week.
hmm And he actually shot a career high last year, but still only took 2 attempts a game, and it hasn't been good this year. So yeah, the Kings are an abject disaster. It's insane how quickly they've gone from that three-seeded team that looked so fun, so exciting, like the beam. It was a great time. Everyone was happy. And it looked like they were on the up and up. It didn't look like, oh, well, they just kind of peaked out this year and this was one fun year. It looked like they were headed somewhere.
Like he's
Just
shooting,
immediately back down to the 9 seed.
he's shooting 2 threes a game and he's making .3. He's shooting 18% from three this season.
It's a mess.
I don't know what you could put that in and then you have the brain power to be like, Domantas Sabonis is one of the worst shooting bigs in the league. Russell Westbrook, that's our answer.
That's our front court.
And
Yeah.
but like Josie just said, they feel this urgency to play Dennis Schroeder. They feel this urgency to play Russell Westbrook because they just signed them and they're supposed to get production out of them. Whatever, they made these moves and getting rid of Fox and Halliburton back then is like, oh, They need to get something out of a point guard spot to not look like complete idiots, and I feel like they almost feel that pressure to some degree. Where's the pressure to play the guy you drafted in the first round last year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I
The
mean,
coaching is it makes no sense right now. That's why I can't really answer the question is because what are they even doing with any of this?
And that's
you know where this all went wrong, right?
no,
Trading
well,
Halliburton.
he probably
No,
I might have
no,
an
it's
I
idea
was,
it's
I
there.
when
mean,
it
when he
was
bought the team.
no, it was June 28th, 2023 when they traded Jordan Walsh and a second rounder to the Celtics. Like honestly, they had the best player they could have had in franchise's history, and they just gave him away.
Yeah, it's a disaster. You're making me upset. Josie, can you give me something positive that you have liked rotation wise? Just cheer me up a little bit.
I got some positives I can talk about here. So, um, I want to talk about Phoenix because, well, I mean, let's just be honest, they've been mid so far. I wouldn't say they've been good so far. Defensively, they've been bottom third again. But what I
I
have
will
seen
say
from
the performance against Wemby though was very impressive. Based on
Yeah,
exactly,
everything.
yeah, hacking the shit out of Wemby over and over and not getting the
Look, I
calls
mean,
for it was a
it was by
great,
far the
great
most effective,
defensive strategy. Yeah,
defense we've seen against Wemby. I'll say
yeah.
that.
and that's what you do against those kind of players. That's what you do against Durant, right? So, I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do to win. But listen, they have some lineups that are doing well defensively, and part of it does come from that Spurs game. Um, I've been seeing these lineups with Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, and Ryan Dunn. Those three on the floor have added some sort of defensive floor when they're together, and I'm gonna start calling them Dunn and Gun lineups. Okay, I
Okay.
can't call them Run and Dunn because they're not very fast,
Well,
but Dunn and Gun. I feel like they're adding a level of seriousness that I wasn't expecting this year. And if they can lean on these lineups, whether it be with Williams or with Dylan Brooks, even bring in Jalen Green, see what you can do with him, see if you can hide him defensively with those guys. I feel like we have a path to actually a decent team here. And yeah, look at what Ryan Dunn did against Wembanyama, and you'll see that this team has something that I didn't think that they had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, Jalen Green hasn't played yet, right?
No.
Correct. Yeah, he is yet to play
Yeah.
hamstring injury.
Yeah,
I
so we'll
think
see how they incorporate him.
I don't want to harp on the negativity too much. But one thing I've been interested with the Suns is they've been pretty good, and Richards and Williams have been fine at the center spot. But I've been interested, or I guess not shocked, but surprised to see that Kamen Malawak hasn't gotten really any burn at all so far.
Yeah, I think Iguodala is playing like I don't know 5 times as much as he is. Uh, yeah, I don't know. You'd think that he'd probably have a nice impact, but like you said, they're getting decent production out of the center position right now. And to your point about the seriousness, Josie, I think Dylan Brooks is a big part of that as well. I think the shot's not falling right now, but I think he's going to add to exactly what you're talking about. And that foursome right there with decent center play, yeah, this actually might not be that awful of a team.
I think a lot of people forgot, or not even forgot, but didn't realize how much of a floor raiser Dylan Brooks is,
Hmm.
even just being on the court.
I've been
And
saying that on this podcast for years.
yeah, yes, you've been saying this all the way since October of 2014, since you were.
Hey, Josie is actually one of the most frequent guests on the pod. So
Yeah, no, he was here before this. He founded this podcast, actually.
yeah, no, this is actually yeah, it's his podcast
We
actually.
stole this from him. But I think what you're seeing is a guy who just really cares. He makes his teammates want to care. He makes a team's defense so much better from just being one of the best point of attack defenders in the league and being one of those guys who you don't want to play against Dylan Brooks every single night. Every single night, the team that's playing against Dylan Brooks is like, oh, fuck, I don't want to deal with this guy. You'd just rather not play against him. He hounds your team's or the other team's best players. He is a good enough offensive player when he's hitting his shots. Like you said, he's not shooting quite to the degree that he probably would like to be right now. He's never going to be a guy that's a high true shooting percentage guy or a high effective field goal percentage guy, but he can knock down 2 threes a game for you, play solid defense. And having a guy like that just means so much. He is similar in the way that Draymond is, that he can just make everyone around him better from just simply being on the floor, even if the ball's not in his hands.
Speaking of high effective field goal percentage, shout out to Colin Gillespie for being like an actually good NBA point guard. Did not have
Yeah.
that on my bingo card for the season. He's been nice for them. Unexpected. He's I think everything that Mitch hoped Tyler Kolek would be, or I would say you, Nate, as
All
well.
right, all right. Don't no. There's no need to bring Kolek's name down when you're lifting another player up. All right.
I had to throw that
This
out
is
there.
about
Just
positives.
yes, we'll stick with the positives. Yes, I will actually. I don't know. We have time. We have time. We have time. I'll go to my positive, and that is Jaime Jaquez Jr., aka the real Triple J, back up to a career high this season, 30 minutes per game. If you'll remember, he was pretty much almost out of the rotation to end last season after a great rookie year for reasons that we're all somewhat
In
familiar with.
case you guys are not aware, I will actually break it down for you right now. So there were some rumors that went around online, and it seemed to be that Jaime Jaquez Jr., as Dion just referred to him as Triple J, the real Triple J, the one that doesn't shoot jump shots like a fourth grader, he may or may not have been having intercourse with his coach's ex-wife, allegedly. Don't
Yes,
have any proof of that. Social
unconfirmed.
media has all the receipts if you want to go Google for yourself. That just could be a reason why they weren't playing their second year player who was a
Right.
stud his rookie year.
hmm But it seems like Eric Spoelstra's gotten over it because now he's up to 30 minutes a game. Like I said, he was 28 per game as a rookie, 21 last year.
He
Back up
gave
to
Eric
30 now.
Spoelstra a taste of that, and he was like, "Let's go. You're back in the rotation."
Boy. But he's been great. I think that just his ability. I mean, this Miami offense in general has been really unique to watch. Like they run a ton of isolation. Like I'm pretty sure almost twice as much as the next highest frequency team in the league. And they also get on transition a lot. Jaime Jaquez as an off-ball scorer is just elite. I mean, he's cutting in the half court. He's getting out
That
early.
whole team is so damn good at cutting.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. But I feel like he really spearheads that because he's really like he's cut the three pointers out of his game pretty much. Like I think he's down to like 1.5 a game or something like that. And he's at 69% on twos, which is nice.
Mitch is having
Uh,
some reactions here. I want to see what he's
Sorry,
trying to
sorry.
say.
RJ just pinned Cole Anthony to the glass in transition. Papa Tamama on the wing pulls it from like 30 feet, splash, and it's just like I love the Raptors now, man. Oh, it's so good to just watch winning basketball.
It's amazing what winning does to
Dude, you give me
sports
a man who
fans.
can create in the half court, and oh, I'm tingling. I got goosebumps. It's crazy.
the roller coaster of emotions of being a Raptors fan through the regular season
Listen,
because
man.
What the hell
there
were
will
we
be
just
a
talking
2 week
about, though?
stretch where they go like one and
The
seven.
Miami
Oh,
Heat.
we're talking about the Heat.
Yeah.
I think with Hame too is the way I was just talking about Colin CMB as a connector defensively and those kind of connectors defensively. Hame is kind of a connector offensively where he gives you a little bit of everything. He can shoot the ball, he can cut, he can play with the ball, he can play without the ball. He's a good enough defender. He'll get some rebounds, he can pass it. And without Jimmy, they really don't have that jack of all trades, master of none. And I think he's done a really good job of filling in that role that they've kind of figured out is what he should be doing since Jimmy left. They've had a whole offseason to figure it out. Andrew Wiggins is playing really well. So I think Hame and Andrew's resurgence this season has been the biggest thing to me that I'm like, wow, this Heat team could actually be good because they're just really deep.
Yeah, the depth
There's
is
another
very
one though.
impressive. Shout out Norm Powell for cooking his former
But yeah,
team.
I was mainly just shouting out the two that because Andrew was kind of ass last season. And so
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Jaime.
It wasn't a great beginning to his tenure in Miami, but yeah, they're looking really solid right now. I don't feel like it's sustainable just because of how unique the play style is. But knowing Eric Spoelstra, like they could probably ride this out the rest of the year because they run basically no pick and roll. Like I looked at the numbers. It's gonna be inaccurate at this point, but they were at like 22 pick and roll possessions per 100. I think the second place team was the Jazz at about 39 per 100 possessions. So a pretty unique style that they're running out. We'll see how long it lasts, but it's been working for them. That Clippers game was a ton of fun. I don't know how much you guys caught of that one, but
I did catch a lot of it.
they've been fun to watch. Usually the Heat are one of my least favorite teams to watch throughout the regular season, but they're entertaining now. They look a lot
Also,
different.
what's his?
Flip
I
the
forget. I
script.
don't know if I'm saying his name right or wrong. If it's Pele or Pel, but Pel
I think
Larson.
it's Pelly Larson, right?
Pelle Larson is a really good player. Like not a really really good player, but he's a nice young player. He also fits into that spacing that they want to get into. I feel like him, Fontecchio, and Jaime have kind of been off the ball the best thing for their offense because it allows them to have the spacing to do all the isolation that they do. That they
Yeah, I'm still in the camp that Simone Fontecchio is just a good basketball player. I don't understand why Detroit just like stopped playing him
Well,
last
no,
season.
you would if you actually watched Pistons game because towards the second half of the year he was horrible. He couldn't. He was one of the worst wide open shooters I've seen. I don't know if actually the numbers back it up, but it felt like every single time that he was open for a three, or if there was momentum or a chance for him to get one going, it was just clank off the back of the rim. And in that Clippers game, Fontecchio did the same thing, or maybe it was the game before the Clippers game, where Fontecchio was like I think 0 for 9 or 1 for 9 from three.
Hmm.
And he just has games like that where it's you need he's his role of the shooter. And there's I feel like for too many games that Fontecchio has the just completely disappears and he's the guy that they rely on in that role. Maybe Miami will have him playing better though now because Miami has black magic with their role players. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fontecchio just like leads the league in 3-point
Well,
percentage now.
I have some numbers not related to his shooting, but I've been impressed with Fontecchio myself. I think he's been very consistent for them. Aside from the game you just mentioned where he kind of shot some tour dates, but if you look at four-man lineups right now, which I know it's a small sample size, everyone's a small sample. The four-man lineup with the number two pace and the number two defense, it has Fontecchio in it. Three of the top five defensive lineups have Fontecchio in them when they've at least played 30 minutes together.
Mhm.
So he's impacting the pace and the defense in some way while he's out there. When you pair him with Bam. So he's been extremely consistent in my opinion. And I'm with Dion. Why did Detroit give up on him? They just kind of threw him in that Duncan Robinson trade. And he's a 29-year-old dude hitting his prime, and he can contribute.
Well, they
Absolutely.
wanted Karis LeVert, who looks like he forgot how to play the
He looks
sport
like
so
Harris
far this
LeVert. I'll
year.
say that. Yeah, but shout out to Simone Fontecchio. Shout out to Bam too for leading all centers and 3-pointers made.
I
I
wonder who
think
told
it's
you that.
Interesting development.
Simone Fontecchio, by the way.
Simone,
Went
yeah, it's
to
Simone.
Simone Fontecchio. My apologies.
I
We'll
went to
go.
Italy this year, so I had to get that right.
I got you. I got you. Were they talking about Simone
Okay,
Fontecchio
sorry.
while you were out there? A lot of
No, they were
Fontecchio jerseys
not.
in Italy.
The Fontecchio game was against the Lakers where he was 2 for 8 from three. That was not the
Mm.
Clippers game.
The lights were bright. The lights are quite literally brighter at the crypt, so could be that.
That is true.
So I mean, I get like in a general sense, I could just say the Pelicans as a whole are negative in terms of every single
Mm.
lineup
Well,
instruction
yeah,
that they send
that's
out.
a given.
However, I want to just give a pretty like a condensed timeline of the events of my negativity. Bring it back to June 17th, of this year.
Ooh, okay.
And the Pelicans decide to trade away Indiana's 2026 first rounder. Now, again, hindsight is 2020. Nobody could have predicted what Halliburton was going to do 3 days from there. But it sucks that the pick for Indiana's gone when Indy could potentially be in the running for one of those high lottery picks. Okay, sucks. All right. But a week after that, during the draft, the Pelicans get rid of their own first to move up from 23 to 13. So not only do the Pelicans just suck absolute balls, and their medical team is actively sabotaging any semblance of a competitive roster they could throw together. Derek Queen has also had some of the most ridiculous minute stagnation I've seen from a guy that they're willing to bet their future on. So, I mean, all credit to them. On opening night for them, he had 35 minutes. And in 35 minutes, I would say 15, 6, 2 blocks, a steal, and an assist. Not bad for a rookie just getting his sea legs, right? Immediately, the next matchup against Boston. Now, again, obviously we're terrified of the bigs in Boston, right? Like the
Yeah.
Celtics have some of the most elite interior defense. So it makes sense to reel Queen back into 22 minutes. Okay. And then against Denver, yeah, it's Jokic. Obviously, Derek Queen's going to have a hard time playing the Big Honey, so 14 minutes.
Why?
And
I
then
mean, his
against
nickname on Basketball Reference is Baby Jokic.
and then again Clippers next night, 13 minutes, sure.
Wait,
And then
what?
OKC.
Hold on. Derek Queen's basketball reference nickname is Baby Jokic.
It certainly is the one and
Who
only
the
nickname
fuck
he's
gave
got.
him that?
Somebody
People who are really
insane.
high on him in the
Yeah.
draft, which does not include me.
What the
High,
fuck did you
high
just
on him in
say?
the draft, which does not include me in that group of people. But yeah, it certainly says
All
Baby.
right, sorry, Mitch. Carry on.
Yeah, no problem. And then he played 7 minutes against OKC. Again, just absolute terrifying interior defense with Chet not there. And as of tonight, I just want to make sure that I am completely correct. He has played 6 total minutes. He has 3 assists, no points, and a single rebound, and he has not played the entirety of the second. So my question to you, New Orleans as a whole, if you were willing to wager almost the entirety of your future, a chance at maybe Darren Peterson, for example, or AJ DeBonza, or even a Boozer brother, why on earth would you think that Kevon Looney and DeAndre Jordan were going to be the guys to shove him out of rotation? Why all of a sudden were you like, you know what? Instead of zero fears, we're a little bit anxious of putting all of our faith into Derek Queen. I don't know what possible choice is to be made after this because if I'm Derek Queen, my confidence is at an all-time low from a franchise who basically pushed all in for me and then is turning around and being like, DeAndre Jordan's a more safe bet at this point in his career. So you know what? You do the Josie special. You get us the coffee. You shine that bench, and then maybe when we're ready, we'll bring you on. I'll say right now, Josie could suit up and have a better statistical production than Derek Queen.
Well, I'm
It's
gonna
Wow.
hardly
Thank
disagree
you.
there.
I'm gonna soft disagree because
No,
he is
no,
not good.
hey,
He's
hey.
not. And
All
I
right.
hate to say it, but
I
he
would challenge Joe Dumars to continue cooking at this level. I am appreciative of this as a fan of a team in the Western Conference.
mm,
There needs to be an incompetent team.
They need we need a like a black sheep of like the bad West teams and not just point to like, oh, they're young and they're fun, or bad things happen because they're rebuilding. No, the Pelicans are just ass, and you're right, we need somebody to be like, you're shit and thank you for being shit because we don't need another reason. There's
yeah, the
no
Kings are working hard to claim that title as well, but the Pelicans are just disastrous.
They
I've
found a new level. You could do nothing as the GM of that team and do better than what
You'd be
Joe
in a
Dumars
way
had
better
just done.
position. Yeah,
I think I've already talked about the Pelicans enough for 1 week.
fair enough. Yeah. Shout out to Jeremiah Fears though for at least being pretty good.
zero fears, baby.
Zero
Zero
fears,
fears.
absolutely. Yeah, I
Good
got no
thing
fears about
the
him.
minute DeJounte Murray comes back, he'll take all his minutes.
You're probably right, which, for better or worse, probably
Well,
works.
we'll we'll
Uh,
paint exactly more of a problem with this Pelicans. But you know what? You're right. We have drawn on about the Pelicans long enough. I just thought it was hilarious that no matter like Josie said, no matter what you do, if you just could put on the 2K sim hat, you can't fix this team. You can't fix anything about it.
no, yeah, they're stuck. It's not like you said. It's not like they're young and fun. Like this at this point, like this team is just not good in any way, shape, or form. Yeah,
Well, they got Zion. Oh no, he's hurt again.
yeah. So, from one negativity to another, though, I guess I'll go next. Unless Nate, did you go negative or positive?
I have my positive thing. So if do you want to end on a good note or do you want to end on a bad note?
Well, and then a good note. So I'll go next with my negative. It's an entire team. It's just the philosophy of the team, the whole makeup, the whole everything. It's the Memphis Grizzlies and their EuroLeague coach that they got. Shout out to him and all the accomplishments that he's had outside of his NBA career. But what he's doing in an NBA context is just not working. It's not going to work. It's not going to figure itself out. There's a reason why there's so much tension there. It doesn't make sense. So just to put it into context, what he's got going on, what I mean when I say EuroLeague team, the way Europe mostly runs their rotations over there is it's a very deep lineup. No one's really playing 35 minutes a game. Like it's the anti-Tibbs. They're basically what the Grizzlies have going on.
I love the anti-this.
That's essentially what it is. No one's
Everybody
playing 30
eats,
minutes a
but
game.
nobody feels full.
Exactly, yeah. So they currently have, and it's a little bit skewed because not everyone has played every single game, but they currently have 11 different guys averaging at least 15 minutes per game. That does not include John Konchar's 13.7 a night. Meanwhile, Ja leads the team with 29 and a half minutes. It's just so irregular from the way NBA basketball is played, and I can appreciate like taking a different approach to it and having some uniqueness to the way that you run your team, but it's not good. It
Oh,
doesn't work. You need to be playing your best players more.
can we get a random
Factually,
John Conchar intermission for a second? Because I want to ask them the same question I asked you earlier, which is, if you guys saw John Conchar in a supermarket, would you be able to tell that that is John Conchar and or a basketball player?
He looks like the man that would say like, it's raining, and he goes, huh, "We needed this, huh?" Like that is exactly the kind of man that I expect. I expect him to be at the deli counter going like, provolone or no, let's not get too crazy. I'll take the white cheddar, please. Like it's just there's something about the man that you're right. It would be indistinguishable if I saw him ordering a
I
cup
think
of
the only
coffee.
defense, he
Well,
is 6'5". You don't just see like
he's
6'5"
six
guys walking
five,
around
but
all the
like you
time.
said,
And he's got a full sleeve. If I saw a 6'5" dude with a full sleeve tattoo,
No, but here's the
I
thing.
would
You
look
you
twice
would
at it.
not no, you wouldn't see the full sleeve because he's wearing a long sleeve button up in public. Don't kid
or he's
yourself.
wearing
Okay. A cardigan.
hoodie or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. If you saw John Conchart, even if he's 6'5", maybe you double take and look up. Even if you know basketball, I'm
I'd be
saying
like, that's a finance guy who's really tall over there.
even if I look up and I was like, I'd be like, maybe that's John Conchart, maybe that's an NBA player, but then I'd be like, probably not, and then I'd
I
probably keep
think
walking.
just seeing a 6'5" professional athlete would make me look at him long enough to then eventually I would get to John Conchar.
I
But
don't believe you. I don't think you would recognize John Conchar in a Whole
Oh,
Foods.
Dion
well,
would
maybe I'll have to
recognize
do
him.
some strolling around Memphis and see if I just come across him.
I like, is there just not tall people around you? Like, is six
Well,
five like an
just
anomalous?
like it's not an anomaly, but I don't think I
Six
see a
five is like not.
6'5"
I
guy
mean,
every
6'5"
day.
is definitely tall, but I think I probably every time, like on average, when I go out, I'd probably say I see at least one 6'3" and above person per time I go out.
Yeah, but I mean 6'3" and 6'5", we're talking
No, I mean like
6'5" really stands out.
And
I
then if
think.
you get to 6'7", then it's like,
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
you're gonna find a way to bring it into every single
Anyways,
episode. I think you actually have to keep that as a running bit at this point. But yeah, no, the Grizzlies rotation, like there's a reason why Ja hates what's going on. He hated it last year when they first brought him in as the head coach. I mean, he really started implementing it even as the lead assistant last year. But um,
now
he's a
now
dictator.
would we say that Mr. Morant is he needs a change of scenery? Maybe,
maybe, it may be. Now,
you
I don't
might.
really think he has the most robust trade market in the world.
And you know
Now
what?
Sacramento
And you know what?
Kings.
Now, fuck, okay, no, fuck. First of all, fuck you, get out of here. But I'm proposing. All right, what I'm saying is because he doesn't have the most robust trade value, wouldn't it just be
You
quirky,
just say the
crazy
Raptors.
if the
Oh my
Raptors had a package that they could build? I'm
Yeah,
talking about a
It would be
package.
crazy, but there isn't, so that we can end
I
the
don't,
story
I don't
right
know that they
there.
do have one. I know what you
I mean,
suggest as a
they
potential
do
trade
they
package.
they do exactly have a package considering they have 4 tradable firsts. They can do unprotected onto 2026, 28, and 30. They can include Grady Dick, Obagi, Walter
Okay.
quickly.
Let me.
I'm just saying.
Can you cook me up like a hypothetical trade right now, really quick?
Yeah, the hypothetical trade would be Ja and 2026 round two Lakers or Clippers swap rights for quickly Obagi, Grady, or Walter of the Obagi and combo, and then 2026 round one unprotected, 2028 round one unprotected, 2030 round one rights to swap. Done.
Hmm.
I think you'd have to add a third unprotected, and then
And then-
they consider not farting in the phone.
I think the Grizzlies say no because
Easy.
that second round pick. I think it's just too much.
Okay, then we don't include the second, and then you know what? Then we shake hands and
Well,
dance our way to the
my
Eastern Conference
issue,
Finals.
my issue with that is really that quickly is a negative asset at the moment.
And you know what? This trade will be made at the deadline when all the other teams have tried to throw the piece of
Okay,
shit option
if
at
quickly
them.
builds back up his value and shows that he's not a horrible point guard, then I will be more open to that. Especially if Ja, how many years does Ja have left? Because he signed the extension not too long ago. I imagine like 2 years left, 3, probably 2.
Josie,
I'm also
have that ready.
I'm also
Josie,
here
this is your
to
job
just
as your
say
What's going
intern.
on,
You have to
Josie?
get us this information right now.
the other thing is like it
My
would
bad,
make
fellas.
sense.
We need
It
you.
would make sense as Rogers trying to make a big splash after buying out Mr. Ujiri and Bobby Webster needing to pull up the bootstraps to be like, I can make moves that change this franchise's direction. So I think it just makes sense from a Raptors standpoint. From Memphis, obviously, they'd be like, what are you, crazy?
Hmm.
So what the guy hates being here? We fucking paid him for
Well, I also think if Raptors fans hate Emmanuel quickly shooting, well, boy, get ready for John Morant shooting.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's
he's a
something
great
that's not
shooter.
going to trend back up.
Here's the thing. At any point that you can get an upgrade in pure raw talent, you do it. At the expense of a guy who started the season shooting 11%.
But it's also at the expense of most of your draft capital.
Again, who were we going to draft with that anyway? Colin Murray Boyles. Oh, no, anyways. My thing is with that though is like if we're going to like win now, which is what the roster is completely built for, then why not actually capitalize on spending some of those firsts? Like there's no reason to hold on to them because we're not going to get Darren Peterson. All right. We're not going to get Cam.
Oh, yeah,
So-
I have an idea.
All right.
It'll work. Trust me. Trade for Kawhi Leonard.
Ooh.
Hmm.
This has worked before.
Now, you know what? They say, what's the point of beating a dead horse? But I say the horse is already dead. So, it can't get worse than
Continue.
that. So you might as well get Kawhi. And then you know what? Serge is teasing a comeback.
Oh,
So
let's go.
let's get
Marcus Sol,
Serge in
where are
here
you
and call
at?
Mark up. Mark's on the couch, passed out. He wakes up. He's like, oh, basketball. All right, fuck it, I guess.
So
But
Ja's 42.1 million next year
Dude,
and 44.9 the following year.
yeah, like I don't want to pay. The Raptors are already in enough cap shit as it is.
Oh, you're more against it for the Raptors side of things?
Well, I think it just doesn't make sense for really either of them because I don't think I'd want that return, and I don't think I'd want to be putting in all those chips for John Moran at this
I
point.
think it makes a ton of sense for the Raptors. If they can spin
yeah.
quickly and
Oh, look at
some
that.
combination of their young wings into Ja, that makes a ton of sense because even if the talent upgrade doesn't do what you want it to do, you still get out of it a lot
Okay,
faster. He
yeah,
becomes inspiring after the
regardless, I don't
following
like.
season.
There's no way that the Grizzlies, even if Quickly's better, they're not going to take his contract. He's making all-star money.
Yeah, he would have to definitely play his way back into good point guard conversations
I'm
just to
just
get it started.
saying.
But
See
I
you
also
guys
think it
at the
would require
deadline.
Ja
You're
like really
talking to one of
pushing
like the
straight out.
biggest Quickly believers out there. I do not think there's any way that he proves that $35 million for him.
I think you're hung up on the wrong part of the trade, my guy. I think you're just not seeing a
Yeah, two
world where
unprotecteds and a swap from the Raptors is not
For
like no.
It
That's
is
nothing to
like
sneeze at.
nothing because if you're giving them Ja, they have more than enough talent to consistently be at least a top five seed in the East for the next
Right, but
two,
he could
three
also
years.
be out of there before that pick swap comes to play. You know what I mean? And it's not guaranteed that he's going to make him that good anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Quickly has an extra year. He's 32 and a half per year, and he has one extra year on his deal. So it's not like the biggest risk for the Grizzlies in that sense. Like,
There's just not enough of a reason to do it when they can probably get the same draft capital plus a
yeah,
competent
I think it
player.
would require job
Well,
pushing.
if Ja actually does become available, there are going to be better offers than what the Raptors are going to give.
I have seen the offers, and I think you'd be wildly
Yeah, I've
surprised.
been on the trade machine for Ja, and it's not like that easy. Because like
Not
you
to
said, Nate, I
mention,
mean, Nate, you've
you
made the point. Like how many teams already kind of have their point guard figured out.
Yeah, I know, but okay, who's another team that let's say even Miami could offer something better than
Yeah, that's maybe the one team if like Hero is the more attractive option, which he probably would be. But yeah, that's probably the one. Mitch, what were you gonna say?
if Atlanta decides they want to trade Trey for Ja.
Now we're talking.
That's
That's
unlikely.
a
again,
2K
but
trade.
like that, right? Yeah, exactly. You had to fabricate such a long shot
Yeah.
trade to come
Well,
up
I
with a better
think
package.
it would have taken me just as long to come up with Emmanuel Quickly, Jacoby Walter, and picks for Ja.
I do
But
agree
that's
with
not what
that.
it was. It was great. It was Grady Dick included. So
Well, I
you
don't
better
want
watch
Grady
Hey,
Dick
don't
either.
sell him short. Grady Dick now.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got left on the board? I do want to end on a positive
Yeah,
note.
I have my positive thing then. So let's go over back to the
I still
West.
have a
Or we're
negative,
still. Oh, you have a negative too.
technically two, but
All right. We'll go to
Two.
the negative and then Nate
Go
Roberts.
go to
Did
your
you get two?
negative then, and then
I'll
we'll
go to
go.
two quick negatives here. One, Ben Seraph. He's been demoted to the G League since I've come up with this take, but he might be the worst player in the NBA right now.
Damn.
Um, he both sides of the
Let me
ball
counter with Chris
completely.
Boucher. I hate Chris Boucher. Sorry. Continue.
Dude, I don't. I would rather start Chris Boucher than start Ben Seraph.
Fair. You know, I don't necessarily. I just had to throw that in because Chris Boucher just bothers me. I can't believe how bad he's been. I'm sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, 35% true shooting. I know this guy's a rookie, but holy fuck.
True shooting.
Yes.
That's deplorably bad. Holy shit. Oh my
And
God.
I think the Nets should be given some sort of 76ers tank punishment for starting this kid. Like, why the hell did they start him? Like, I don't get what their issue is. Anyways, he's in the G League now, not an NBA player anymore. We don't have to worry about him
Or he is an
anymore.
NBA player. He's on an NBA contract, so technically he's an NBA player just participating in other activities.
Yeah, he might be down there for the foreseeable
A
future.
while. Holy
I'm
fuck.
trying to look at his numbers because I have not watched any Nets games. I'm not gonna lie, I have not watched a Nets game yet. That's a fun fact for all of you.
He had some assists in his first game, but it's been downhill literally since then. And yeah, he's played I think like 15 minutes a game for the Nets. Like it's just ridiculous. They have so
Yeah.
many guys that they need to play.
He's shooting a calm 23.1% from the field. He's also shooting 23.1% from three, so at least he's consistent. And then he's 75% from the line, 2.5 assists, 3.5 points. He averages almost more fouls than assists, and he averages more fouls than rebounds.
Impressive stuff.
That's
Honestly,
good.
like it's
Good
honestly
stuff.
impressive to
Shout out to
be.
the Nets for missing on all 5 of their fucking first round picks. That was impressive.
Yeah, their second rounder might actually be the best rookie they've got, and they had 5 chances at it to take someone better. It's not good. I mean, I think we all knew that most of those guys were not going to be good right away. Like, I don't think we expected any of them to be
Well,
rookie
let's
year.
be honest. I think a lot of us know that none of them are ever going to be good.
I still have hope that some of them something could pan out.
Nolan is
Which
maybe
one?
Nolan might be if somehow he wasn't coached by Nets coaches.
Yeah, a lot of it does have to do with them ending up on the Nets. I think Yegor could actually end up being good. He's going to take time to adjust to like NBA physicality and everything. That was, I think, expected. I still think that there's potential with him. Traore, yeah, like maybe he'll be like a decent point guard, something.
I actually heard his name was pronounced Torre. I heard
Torre?
it on TV. He was called Torre. They said Torre.
I don't know. I've always heard Traore. Basketball Reference says Traore.
I could be wrong, but also in 2K it says Torre.
Well, I'm gonna trust Basketball Reference and what I've heard pre-draft over 2K and the Nets. Well, the Nets actually have a respectable broadcast team, but. Yeah, point being, yeah, it's not good. They had 5 swings at it, and no one's going to be an immediate contributor. Maybe Yegor can be
Well,
decent.
Danny Wolf is just a horrible basketball player.
He doesn't look
He's
NBA.
only played, I think, like 1 game, but he's just not a good player. He shouldn't have been drafted in the first round to begin with. I thought coming into the draft, whoever drafted him was a dumbass to begin with, and sure enough, it was the Brooklyn Nets who also took fucking. I should stop cursing so much. I'm gonna put $1 in the swear jar every time I swear from now on.
You're gonna be broke by the end of this episode.
Yeah, that's probably true. I think though you took 3 point guards who none of which can play together, and now there is no path to this working.
Why
Let's
does
be
Sean
honest.
Oh
Marks
no, I
have a
mean
job?
there was no path from the beginning, but
What do you say?
Why does Sean Marks have a
Somebody's have
job?
Sean Marsh is just allowed to continuously fuck up and then try to undo the fuck ups like four
he's
to
been there.
5 times now
He's been there. Does anyone want to take a guess? His
since
first year,
Billy King left.
2015.
Yeah, after Billy King got
It's been
fired,
over a decade.
he was the
And
guy
they
that
were
got
asked
hired
for
after.
most of that.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he was the guy they hired right after Billy King, and it's been him ever since.
Yeah, they've put together as many 50-win seasons as the 4 of us combined.
Is that
And
the worst back-to-back GM like duo or moving on
if you
from?
go if you go back into the 80s, like
Yeah,
there's a
that-
lot of
that's fair. That's
really
fair.
bad
Okay,
stuff, but
but
modern
continue with
era,
your Nets
it
recap.
probably is. Yeah, probably.
Shout out to Toronto legend Sean Marks.
Well, the Nets have 1 playoff appearance since then, right? The 1 year they had with KD and the foot on the line thing. Or no, 2.
It was a shortened
Or no,
season, so they
3.
probably didn't get to
They
50
had 3.
wins.
Sorry, because the D'Angelo Russell year, then they had the year that
No,
they made it.
they made it. They had a 5-year stretch where they made it, but that
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
include getting swept twice. So yeah, not a great run.
They won 1 playoff series in that span.
Correct. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You have Kevin
so-
Durant, James Harden.
So you're gonna
Anyways.
tell me that a GM gets James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, D'Angelo Russell was also an all-star with them at the time. They traded for Ben Simmons, all this shit, and you got 1 playoff series win out of it. And now
And they're in the East.
you used already half the draft
All right,
capital.
there,
You-
OKC guy.
My
Not
question is-
all of us have Titans
but-
living in our fucking.
But I'm gonna say
continent.
also
Sorry.
like the whole thing was with the Nets that they set themselves back up in being a team that had a lot of draft picks moving forward, whatever. They already used like half of their capital that the Knicks gave them for Mikal Bridges. So if they don't hit on their next draft, their time is running out really fast.
Yeah,
They really better hope that the lottery odds go their way this year and they end up with a top 3 pick, because if they don't,
I hope to God they don't end up with the top 3 pick because they will ruin those poor men.
uh, or one
Yeah.
of those poor men will be the franchise
The
savior.
savior. I don't think. Okay, I don't know where Dion stands in terms of like Peterson to AJ at this point, but like
I
there's
don't
not.
think we can know until the season really ends.
Yeah,
really,
I
can
gotta
we?
watch more Peterson still. I'm
Okay.
not really like sold one way or the other.
I'm
on him.
not right now. I have
am
them
an
all.
AJ Depensah guy. I will say I'm also an AJ Depensah back to Boston guy, but that's
Okay,
part of it.
okay.
But
Well,
he does look pretty good.
Okay. I just meant like I don't as much and as crazy high ceiling as those guys can be, I do not view them as like, okay, you can come into this franchise and save them because
Mhm.
there's so many things wrong. Hell, you could clone Wemby and I'd still go, I don't know if he saves Brooklyn because there's still so much incompetency, but
Yeah, I'm gonna.
My question with the Nets is if they don't beat Indiana at Indiana tomorrow night. When are they getting their first win? Because
It'll
it's
happen
not pretty.
eventually some random night.
They've got because after that it's the Pistons in the in-season tournament at the Knicks, Raptors, at Magic, at Wizards. They should get one of those back to back against the Celtics. They should get one of those maybe. But like 0 and
Ooh, isn't
7,
it gonna
0
feel
and
so
7
shitty
with
when
like
Boston is the
no hope.
team that they grab the win from?
Yeah,
What
yeah, they'll probably split with the Celtics to be honest.
my
But like
my
they're 0 and
thing
7
though,
with like not even a competitive game in there. Like they lost by 5 to the Hawks. I did watch a little bit of that one. It was I mean, it didn't look like the most competitive game I've ever seen. Like they just look hopeless. They could genuinely be like a 10-win team.
I
I
mean,
took
yeah,
their
they're going to be really
under.
bad, but I also think, you look at the Pistons who, when they won 14 games, at least Cade was out for like the whole year. Cade played 12 games, I think, that season. The thing with the Nets is Cam Thomas is going to go off some night and have 50 points, and the Nets are going to end up winning it. It'll just happen because Cam
Mm.
Thomas is that type of player that there are nights where he's just unguardable, and it doesn't matter what kind of defense is being thrown at him. He's going to score 50 points because he feels like scoring 50 plus points that night. So
They
I think
still might lose
by,
that game.
huh?
They still might lose.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that they'll win every single one of those games, but like he's going to have one of those nights where they end up winning on. I don't think that this
Mhm.
team is incapable of slipping a win past a team that isn't prepared on a back to back of a night that's kind of a trap game. That's what'll probably happen. They'll probably end up beating a
Yeah,
team on the.
they'll rack up a few. They'll sneak up on some
I
teams.
don't think that they're as bad, or I don't think the Pacers are as bad. Like I think the Nets are pretty clearly the worst team in the NBA this season, but I think they'll get more than 10 wins. I'd assume so. 10 wins would be the worst ever, like with a full season.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, probably not 10. But Josie, I think your other one was for negative was Dyson Daniels, right?
Yeah, so just real quick here, Dyson Daniels also has been a liability both sides of the ball. Granted, he has increased his scoring in the past couple of games here, so maybe he's getting into season shape here. But yeah, he has a steals number, but if you look at the rest of his stats, it's really a problem.
And if you watch him play
And
basketball, it's even worse.
yeah, yeah, the eye test, the stats, it's all saying that holy shit, this guy does not look good right now. Um, and think about this: you have a three-man lineup, or when Porzingis, Young, and Daniels are on the floor together, they're allowing 141 points per 100 possessions right now, and
That
that's
is
in
Damn.
70
categorically
minutes.
not good for those keeping track at home. Yeah.
So, there's
And
a decent sample of this, and they're just absolutely turnstiles with Daniels and Porzingis.
and that's the guy who somehow has the fourth highest odds right now to win Defensive Player of the Year, and OG Anunoby's nowhere to
Yeah,
be seen.
I fear that he's going to be a guy that like his reputation off of the one great deflections year is just going to carry his defensive reputation for like the next 8 years, regardless of how good he actually ends up
I
being.
fear Dash is gonna come in and be immediately better.
Oh,
Is Dash his
immediately
brother?
better. Whoa.
Yes. All right. So
Dash
I
is his
don't know.
brother.
I don't know
Yeah.
how. Yes. Have
Oh,
you?
you thought there was just another Daniels?
Yeah, I don't know.
Also,
I just they look.
no offense to the Mrs. and Mrs. Daniels, but Dash and Dyson, you could have gone with any other letters to start your fucking
It's
name.
Dash for Australian doesn't seem that out of character. Like
I'm just saying D and D. Like you're really gonna give them both the same fucking
DD
initials. Like,
DD. Well, what if
it's
their middle
lazy.
names?
It's I don't know their
Demetrius
middle
and
names.
Darnell.
Well, I think the thing with Dyson is he's just if he's not giving you elite defense right now, his offense is so bad that I don't understand. I guess the last two games because he's been better, but playing him huge minutes is genuinely just detrimental to the team unless he continues just what he has done the past two games.
And
I also think maybe we're a little harsh on him to just write him off already, but I definitely need to see more of what I saw the last two games than the first three because it's a drastic difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he's leading the team in minutes right now, by the way. So he's been bad on a mega scale.
Mm-hmm.
You call him the
Dyson
Great Barrier
James
Thief because
Daniels, by the way.
call him
Yes,
the Great
James.
Barrier Thief because he stole $100 million from
Mhm.
the Hawks.
So we've got Dyson James Daniels, and then as far as I can tell, Dash does not have a middle name. I can't find anything here. Everything's
Dash
been-
blank Daniels.
Just to like kind of to paint the picture of Dash, it's like you get a lot less of the raw shooting mechanics from Dash. Dash is already like a pretty good spot up shooter. He works really well off the ball. And a lot of the early telltale signs of Dyson being like kind of skittish with the ball in his hands, forced to make a decision, shot clock down to 14 seconds. Dash almost does not have that at all. Like if I could point to one game, if you go watch the Casey and Sandringham game, because that's who he currently played for at that time. That was just a moment of him being like, okay, he doesn't see the game in the same way as like a passer and a technician, but obviously the scoring chops are well beyond what Dyson has, even right now, I'd say.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this draft. Seems like it's gonna be another really good crop of players. But Nate, wrap us up here
Yeah, I'll
with
say
your positive.
I want to talk about an exciting, positive defensive wing
Mm.
who is playing really, really well right now. In the complete opposite, and maybe not the complete opposite. Maybe we're being a little too harsh on Dyson, but Josh Okogie and the Rockets are who
Ooh,
I want
What
to
a
talk about
shout out.
man.
because holy shit, I did not think Josh Okogie was going to be the X factor in what makes the Rockets go from wow, this starting lineup sucks to oh my God, is this the best starting lineup in the NBA? Because the first two games, they were 0-2. That was back when they were starting the giant lineup of that was when they were going with Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Şengün, and Steven Adams. And then they switched it up. And the past 4 games, they're on a 4 game win streak after losing their first two. They're one of the best starting lineups in the league. They're by far the best first quarter team in basketball. I need to pull up the tweet here that I had that told me about how good their they had a first quarter differential. If you look at how good they've been with Josh Okogie on the floor, it's not just defensively. Like we know Josh Okogie for his defense. Offensively, he's shooting 50% from three, and he's taking a decent amount. He's been someone who's handling the ball a little bit too when need be. He's just been everything that you could have wanted and more. I didn't expect Josh Okogie to ever even be, a plus shooter. The fact that he's shooting 50% obviously isn't going to continue. But if he can be a competent shooter and an extra ball handler, someone that just every time I watch, the numbers go so beyond the stat sheet. He's diving for loose balls. He's getting the 50-50 balls. He's getting the 70-30 balls. He is causing havoc. Switchability. His switchability has been great. You can put him on pretty much anyone that's not a center. I don't know. I just really like Josh Okogie and everything I've seen. Whenever he's on the court, the Rockets seem to be going on a run.
He's been a great addition. Yeah, they really needed that perimeter defense for a team that is so built around their defense. Like, yeah, they really have needed him in the
I mean,
front in the
any
backcourt.
coincidence that their 4 wins in a row comes when he joins the starting lineup? I know.
Yo, yo. Now, those I have to chime in and say those first quarter stats you were referencing, Nate, heavily influenced by the absolute belt to ass performance they put on the Celtics the other night. It was 37-24 after the
Yeah,
first
so I'll
quarter.
say though, okay, here it's going into that fourth game, they had a 33.4 first quarter net rating with that starting lineup.
Yeah,
That's really, really fucking good.
yeah, that's
Let's
excellent
add the
stuff.
dollar to the swear jar. God damn it.
There's another one, 50 cents for goddamn it. Yeah, no, he's been a pleasant surprise. Um, yeah, it really it makes the stock of one Reed Shepherd really just kind of continue to dwindle
Yeah,
as
right
time
now
goes
the
on.
Rockets are the number one team in the entire NBA at knocking down their wide open threes, so 6+ feet of space. They're shooting 57% on wide open threes.
Yeah,
And
that
Josh
will not hold.
Okogie's
So
been a
that's
big
actually that's something to kind of keep track of because that's probably not going to hold, and that could actually impact their offense quite a
I
Yeah.
bit.
think this whole thing is. I'm not convinced that Kogi is the answer that gets the Rockets to a top two offense or something like. I don't
No, I don't think
fully
that
see
either,
the
but
vision either.
But without Van Vliet, they were lacking guard depth, and to have a guy who wasn't even expected to really be a part of the rotation now being someone who could, at the very least, become a guy who's your first 1 to 2 people off the bench.
Mhm.
I just really like what I see from him so far, and we haven't even seen Dorian Finney-Smith play.
Yeah, I mean, for them to be
That's
first in
fair.
offensive rating through 6 games is definitely a surprise, and he's been a part of that. But yeah, like with the open three stat you just mentioned, I think that's definitely going to tick down here pretty soon.
Yeah, but I think the fact that we saw the change from the first 2 games immediately, then you get in an extra ball handler. I mean, Okogie has been a good ball handler. Like he's been someone that they have relied on
Yeah, he's
to
been a
handle
legit
the
guard. Yeah.
to handle the ball at times. And I think if you're talking about what they needed in order to have a better offense, they needed a smaller guy who wasn't just going to be a 6'8" player handling the ball every possession because that's what they had. They had a bunch of really tall guys who were dribbling 6 feet above the ground, and the smaller guys it was a lot easier for them to pick it off and cause havoc. They needed a smaller guy who can also play above his size. So I think no, Josh Okogie's not the long-term solution to that's their fifth starter the Rockets can have for the next 5 years, but I just think it's really nice to see a guy who wasn't really expected to be anything being one of the more impactful players early in the year.
Yeah, he's been a great early stopgap for them. Mitch, did you see that beautiful ball rotation that
Yes,
Raptors just
yes.
had into the Mamu three?
They just first of all broke the zone like a textbook fucking play. Now I'll say this. Did you also see the literal next possession, Scotty back Giannis down?
Ah,
Man playing with his back to the basket.
interesting stuff.
He's already little manned him twice this game. I am Scotty Barnes, thank you for playing a power forward role because you're not a point guard. Just
Real.
wanted to say that.
Real stuff. Neither is Ben Saroff.
Well, I think
But yeah,
that's
back to your point, Nate, about Okogie. Yeah, he's been a great addition for them. We'll see how it progresses throughout the season because eventually, I feel like eventually Reed Shepard's gotta evolve a
It's
little bit
okay.
here.
The
It's
next
gonna
time
have
we
to happen for
record
him.
this, the Rockets will be on a 4-game losing streak, and Okogie will have a plus minus of -30. So,
Damn, negative
Well,
30?
yeah, well, way to
That
go
would be
from NBA
crazy.
positive
I'm
note
just saying. Every time I
to
speak
negative.
positive about a player, it seems that the opposite proceeds in the next few games. Regardless, I think that's gonna wrap it up. And other than if you guys have any other burning takes you need to get off of your chest,
No, that's
positive
it.
or
Just get
negative.
Chris Boucher off my team as soon as
Yeah.
possible, please.
Actually, you know what? One quick shout out, quick time to the Boneyard Boys. Just one time.
Hey,
Just
Wow.
because we can.
yes,
Well,
sir.
thank you.
Yes,
I love their
stream
music.
Boneyard Boys on all platforms.
Oh, those cats, they've got such a great fucking sound. It's crazy.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you guys did enjoy. We'll be back on Saturday or Sunday with a guest. Hopefully, we have something planned as long as it comes to fruition. We will have an episode for you with them on Saturday or Sunday. So stay tuned. Follow all of our socials at 2for1 Hoops. Subscribe. Stay tuned to the podcast and some other videos. We have some things coming. I'm going to be doing a national game review where I pick a game every week on national television and do a review. So the first one of that will be out by the end of the week. But other than that, good night, everybody.